It's time to pump it up. I'm already pumped up, though. Tell you what, fist pumping over here. We got Indiana Tech in town and an opportunity to give them something they haven't gotten this year, and that's a loss in conference. 13-0, spotless. Not on that tip, though. Stephanie Ainsworth wins it. We're underway. Cornerstone with the basketball in their hands. Gorgeous Saturday. It has warmed up outside a little bit. That doesn't bother us, though. We're inside. Ainsworth spinning off the defender. Can't get it to go off the backboard. Erica Foy on her defensively. And I would expect to see more of that matchup as this one goes along. Covington shifts it to the right side. Now gets it back atop the key. Corinne Smith in the game. To Smith for three. Back iron, no good. Jaylee Long rips down the rebound. So a couple of empty possessions to start this one. Jaylee leading the way in assists right now for the Golden Eagles. She's been the main distributor for the CU team. Part of the Jaylee-Jaxie combo out of Newaygo High School. Kubik. Hesitation. Now drives and has it sent away. Defensively, it was Taylor Covington, the sophomore, who's the primary distributor on the other end. But gets a denial this time, stays at 0. Steen. Ainsworth back to Steen. Wide open jumper. It rolls around and rolls out. And then it's last touch by Erica Foy. It stays here for the Golden Eagles. So a couple of empty tries to begin this one.
Bit of a off-balance shot there from Steen. You'd really like to see her, maybe plant her feet just a little bit more. Maybe that shot would have gone in.
Shifting into a zone here is Indiana Tech. Well, it looks like now they're in man. Ainsworth open inside, and she puts it in. Past Erica Foy, 2-0. Golden Eagles jump on top.
Kind of felt like a little bit of a fade pass in an end zone there. Getting it done.
You want to get her one-on-one. Foy. Smith. Tech working it around. Now near side, now back up top. Covington an open three. It's back iron, no good. Ainsworth pulls it in, gives it out to Jaylee Long. 3-point shooting, not a strong point for this Indiana Tech team either. Despite how efficient they are on offense, they like to get their looks inside. Kubik gets it back. 2 minutes into this first period, shifts it to Folk. Cornerstone in their home whites, inside of 10 minutes, or rather 10 seconds. Steen. Kubik has to fire away, and it rolls out. Momentary buzz from the scoreboard. Bethany Worm swings it inside to Erica Foy, and she knots us up at 2-2 with 7:45 to play in the first period. But it's the quickness with Foy, it's the anticipation, it's all the above. Kubik, now here to Folks, whose parents are in attendance at this game today. Got to chat with them beforehand. Jaylee, oh, nice pump fake for three. It's good. Little shimmy shake, gets open, makes it 5-2.
I think I've been telling you the last couple of games, been wanting her to take some of those shots, and she finally did, and it worked out.
Tech working it around the top of the key. Looks like a 1-3-1 zone here. Trying to front Foy. This time she's fouled by Mackenzie Steen, and she gets 2 shots at the line. But you saw Jaylee Long trying to front her, essentially deny her the ball, and it can work well. Sometimes it can work against you, because if they do get the ball, they're right in front of the basket. But they're going to force her to take a lot of these today, and they need to if they want to have a chance to win. First free throw good. That makes it 5-3. 3 minutes into this first period. 7:02 to go here in period number 1. Second one good too. So 4 points. The 4 points for Indiana Tech. All courtesy of one Erica Foy. Kubik, Covington guarding. Gives it up to Jaylee Long, who steps back. Steen sets a screen, takes one from Ainsworth, though. Sweltering defense from Indiana Tech right now. Steen with 5 seconds. Inside to Ainsworth. On Foy. Can't get it to go, but gets it back. Jaylee, another shimmy shake, and she knocks it in. 8-4, 4-point lead. Well, I like that little fake out she's got going on. It's worked a couple of times already. Smith gets off of Fulks. Now they work it inside. Quick jumper ends up hitting. Bethany Worm, redshirt senior, makes it 8-6 now.
Indiana Tech is going to make it super hard for Cornerstone on defense. Cornerstone usually bunches up in the middle around the paint, and they're trying to defend the outside, but they're going to make it tough on the mid-range, or it's 2.
So traveling that time against Cornerstone gives it back to Indiana Tech. Now 8-6. I watched the movie Miracle a few nights ago. Have you ever seen the movie Miracle on Ice? About the USA hockey team that beat the Soviets?
I have not.
It's renowned. It's known as the biggest upset in the history of sports. Overhead lob to Foy inside, off her fingertips and out of bounds from Bethany Worm as she yells at some of her teammates to get going. But Herb Brooks, the head coach, gave one of the most legendary pregame speeches in the history of sports. He goes, tonight you skate with them and you stick with them. Well, right now we're skating and sticking with Indiana Tech. Trying to pull off an upset. Fulks launches away, can't hit. Jaylee Long got hooked up and couldn't pull in the rebound. Amaris Lowry, little bump from behind, gets it to go out of bounds, gives it back to Indiana Tech with 5:19 to go. But this team has come such a long way. Foy to Worm. Back to Covington. Now they shift it right side for a 3. That bounces around, no good from Lowry. Kubik rips and runs.
That was set up so good for the Warriors as well. Great pass by Worm.
Talked about it during the pregame show. Ball movement, one of the biggest reasons why this team wins. Jaylee to Kubik. Can't put it in, but Bennett a good rebound underneath. And the Hope transfer's fouled. And Bethany Worm looks like she just saw a ghost. I might have to agree with that. It looked like it was clean, but we'll take it. Megan Bennett draws the foul, stays with Cornerstone. We are inside of 5 minutes, 4:40, so it's a media timeout. See you up by 2. We'll take a break as well. Cornerstone Sports Network. Eight to 6, our tally. Cornerstone on top by 2. 4:40 to go until the end of period number 1. Nate Wangler, Jackson Hyden with you. Indiana Tech looking to continue what has been a spotless conference record so far. 16-3 overall. Again, 13-0 in the conference. 7 straight wins. Jaylee lines one up from deep. Can't put it through. But Olivia Kubik rips down the rebound and is fouled by Lowry that time. And pretty convincingly so. It stays on this end of the floor.
All of these threes that Cornerstone has been taking, I don't have any complaints for them. They're 2 for 6 so far, so maybe not the best track record just yet. But they've all been pretty clean shots. They've all been super close. A lot of them just rattled in and out.
Against a team like this, if you get an open look, take it. That's the advice. Jaylee steps back. Now swings it inside to Bennett, who turns around and can't put it in. Heavy defense that time from Erica Foy. Lauren Barton rips down the rebound, and here we go the other direction. And much like against Madonna, Tech has their one star player that you gotta shut down. That's Erica Foy. Off the back iron, no good. Rebound comes down. Juliana Burris dribbles it off the out-of-bounds line, and it's back to the Golden Eagles with 4:01 to go.
So before we start this next offensive possession for Cornerstone, I'm really, really enjoying the leadership of Jaylee Long so far. I mean, she's just been looking like she's in control, leading everything out. She's taking shots that we have not seen her take all year. And I think if they can continue to ride her hot hand, that is going to be a major key for today.
Kubik with the ball on the three-point line, gives it up here to a cutting Jaylee Long. 3:45 to play. Spins, Folks floats one that doesn't go in, battles for the rebound and commits a foul on Genevieve Decker, who pulled it into her chest. We were talking about Madison Folks' parents, though, here tonight. Senior out of Pittsboro, Indiana. Again, a member of a team that began here 4 seasons ago with this Cornerstone squad, and things look a lot different now than what they did back then. Tech working the ball around here. Covington, back to Foy. Doing a great job covering her up. 6 seconds to shoot. Covington nearly loses it. Now fires, and it rolls off the front of the rim. But Tech gets the ball back. Now Kubik, an interception. Back to Folks. Looks for Ainsworth. Gets it to her inside. A spin, but it spins right off the backboard and off. Covington. Decker. Can't get it to bounce through. Ainsworth a rebound, and as it stands right now, Jackson, this is a defensive fight.
That defensive possession over there where they ran them all the way down to the end of the shot clock, that was just great defense for Cornerstone.
Ainsworth a jumper. No good, too strong. And then a foul underneath. Megan Bennett hooked up Erica Foy, and Foy immediately turned around and looked at the referee and said, "Thank you very much. I've been waiting for that." See you playing it aggressive here today. Both Ainsworth and Folks will check out. Emma Costin, Jaxie Long entered into the game. Starting to see more and more from Jaxie. Decker, Smith. Yeah, can't get it to go. Jaxie, an aggressive box out. Gives it up to Jaylee, who fires for 3 and can't put it in. Fight for it underneath. Megan Bennett comes away. Now punched up in the air, Covington. Running in transition, puts it in. Kubik tried for the head fake that time defensively, but Covington able to tie it up at 8-8. And nobody's cracked double digits yet. We're a minute 42 away from the end of the first period.
That last bucket was the first bucket for either team in the last 4 minutes of gameplay.
Costin to Bennett, lines up a jumper and puts it in. So Bennett does finally crack double digits. 2-point lead for CU just outside of a minute. Smith to Foy. She's being doubled to Covington. An open 3. Can't get it. Punched up around. Costin finally saves it. Tiptoeing on the out-of-bounds line. Inside of a minute now, 55. Jaylee Long in a backdoor cut. Saves it from going out of bounds, but rolls it right into the hands of a couple of Warriors who rip and run the other way. Foy. Smith, Jaxie Long all over her. Foy in the middle. Covington, another open 3. Can't get that one to roll in. Foul underneath. They're going to say Costin got a piece of Lauren Burton. Coaching staff not happy with that one. It'll stay on this edge of the floor, but it's been an interesting game so far, Jackson. If you like defense, well, we got one for you. But Tech right now, ice cold from 3. forcing them to take those shots has been effective. 0 for 6 from distance.
And we know how good of a defense inside that Cornerstone can play. So if they can keep this up, it's going to be interesting.
Here comes I thought that was the first one. I thought for sure. Doing a good job keeping their hands up. Gortmaker tries to swat that one away, but it's right into the hands of Smith. Now to Foy. Drives on Ainsworth. Can't get it to roll in. And then, unfortunately, it looked like Emma Costin was the last to touch it. So with 10.1 seconds, they'll get the ball back.
It's just feeling like Indiana Tech right now, they're playing very panicked is kind of what it feels like. They're not getting the looks that they normally can get. Cornerstone just clamping down on defense, and they have no answer right now.
Just to give you a little perspective on the matchup between these two, last time they played 73-45, Tech won. In the recent history of this matchup between these two teams has not been favorable to CU. We'll just put it that way. And not to say that Tech walked in here thinking that this was just a throwaway game, but when you look at the numbers, you can understand why they would think that. You got to go back to 2018 to find the last time Cornerstone was able to win this matchup. Ever since then, it's been tough sledding. 14 straight losses. Firing away for 3. Lowry can't hit. Smith rebound in the corner. 3 seconds. Inside. Foy. Past Ainsworth, but can't get it to go. Rebound out to Jaylee Long. Cornerstone at the end of one period. 10-8, they're in front. We'll be right back. Cornerstone Sports Network.
back. 2-point lead.
2-point lead for the Golden Eagles, 10-8, 9:55 on a drive. Genevieve Decker is fouled. Stephanie Ainsworth got most of it. So 2 shots coming up at the line here for ITU. But what a defensive performance for Cornerstone there in that first quarter. I mean, I guess you could say the same for both sides. This one bounces around and bounces in. Cuts that lead down to 10-9. Cornerstone had the better shooting first quarter, and they shot 23%. Off the side of the rim, Steen rips it down. Cornerstone holds on to that lead by 1 point. But if you like high scoring, if you're a fan of the National Basketball Association, this game is not for you. But if you're a true basketball fan, you love it. Foy off a deflection. Decker to Worm. Overheads it to Smith. Steps inside the three-point line, but has that one to roll around and roll out into the hands of Jaylee Long. What a good first quarter from Jaylee Long, as you talked about, Jackson. Couple of threes. Doing it all herself. Gortmaker trying to work her way through, and she's fouled. Draws the foul on Erica Foy. Will go to the free throw stripe for 2. That's something as a freshman she's gotten really good at so far this year. Drawing contact on drives, and just talk about someone that's just not afraid to really just kind of stick their nose in there. I feel like that's who Gracie Gortmaker has been this season. averaging just under 5 a game. Misses the first one, puts the second one in. Those are the types of players, the gritty types, that Jessica Yonkers loves. Covington. Smith wide open for 3. Can't cash it in. Decker saves it from going out of bounds. Now a mad dash. They get it back to her, and she loses the handle, but still has the basketball. Covington, jab step, drives, can't hit it, and then a fight for it underneath. Cornerstone gets it back. Genevieve Decker, the last to touch it.
0 for 8 from 3 now, Indiana Tech is. 3 for 18 from the field overall.
And I think the most frustrating thing for Cornerstone is, yes, they have forced a bad shooting performance so far for ITU, but they haven't been able to capitalize on the other end. Just 4 for 17 shooting the basketball. Jaylee Long has 2 of them. Gives it up to Steen. Yeah, who gives it away? They're really willing to give Steen that look.
Steen has not made a 3 all season, and she's only attempted like 2 or 3. So I'd like to see her take a couple. I never know what could be behind that.
Worm a rebound. Can't put it through. Then Ainsworth and Worm fight for the rebound, and it's back to Cornerstone. Bethany Worm, redshirt senior, Westerville, Ohio. Just 5'7", but physically matching up with Stephanie Ainsworth right now. And you need people like that on your team to take her out of her game. Jaylee. I say try it if you're Mackenzie Steen. Long on the drive and a travel. Took one extra step before she knocked over Bethany Worm. Court maker Jaylee Long will check out. Madison Folks Olivia Kubik back in. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at our scoring recap. Take a look back at how everything shook out in half number 1. Right now we got a football game going on. Feels like hockey with the frequency of scoring. Work this one inside. Jaxie Long, a little too aggressive on the defensive end. You see that knee brace that she's wearing, or leg brace, if you will, on her right leg. Suffered a lower body injury earlier this year. Foy rolls around into the waiting hands of Jaxie Long. 7:27 now to play. Steen hands it off to Folks for a jumper. That's good. Good ball movements for CU, 13-9. Just look out the closeout speed right now for CU. Ainsworth a block.
Hey, come on.
Worm to Smith, who can't knock down the 3. Almost a moving screen in front of her. Kubik. Long. Hesitated like she wanted to take that 3. Folks side to side, spins, floats off the front of the rim. She tried to go backdoor for a steal. Smith just a little too fast. Foy with the basketball, 6:23. Stops, floats one, and it falls. 13-11, cuts that Cornerstone lead back down to 2. And, well, the good news is if our defense keeps playing like this, I think we'll be all right.
That was the first bucket for Indiana Tech in 3 minutes of gameplay. Only 6 points combined for both teams this quarter, though.
Ainsworth on a drive, has it ripped away. Good job by Smith. Then it goes off the foot. Back foot of Juliana Burris. Rolls out of bounds, so it's right back to Cornerstone here near side. 13-11, 5:53 to play. And the timeout for CU. 30-second timeout. We'll take 1-2. Cornerstone Sports Network. Welcome back on Senior Day inside of Mole Arena. The senior herself, Madison Folks, tosses that one in. Jaylee Long to Ainsworth. What a find. She gets 2. 15-11. Cornerstone expands that lead back to 4 with 5:36 to play. Perimeter defense, been a big reason why they have the lead. Foy, Smith steps into a 3. Can't hit it though. But a tip drill. Smacks it back out to the 3-point line, does Decker. Now gets it in the corner here. Covington. The Tech just can't find any answers. Smith back to Covington. 1 dribble, 2 seconds. Fires away. It's off the side of the backboard. Ainsworth to Jaylee Long across half court to Kubik. 4:57 to play, halfway through period number 2, and well, they're really doing this today.
Still a lot of basketball yet to be played, though.
Kubik off a screen, fires away, front of the rim. Foy rebound, kicks it to Smith. Now to Covington, now they swing it, far side, it's denied. Lowry has that one swatted by a charging Olivia Kubik. Now back to Kubik with 18 to shoot. Just outside of 4 minutes to go until halftime. Steen weaving her way in, goes with the finger roll, and it almost rolls in, but just trickles out. Foy, past Folks on Ainsworth. She's fouled. Got a piece of the mouth of Stephanie Ainsworth on the follow through that time. We'll get 2 shots at the free throw line here inside of 4 minutes, 3:59 to go. And for the most part, Jackson, they've done a pretty good job of holding Erica Foy silent. It does have 6 points. 2 of those came at the free throw line. But just making life difficult, and that's all you really need to do against the other team's best player.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that is credited to Stephanie Ainsworth down in the paint. She's been dominant, 7 rebounds already. She's super close to potentially having a double-double before we go into halftime. But she's getting her hands up, and the defense is just swarming everybody.
And that's why it matters right there. First one off the mark by Foy. Second one is up and good. Makes it 15-12, but you'll take that. 1 of 2 from the stripe. We're going to make you earn it every single time, but Ainsworth still playing some smart basketball, though. Both her and Erica Foy right now with 7 points. Jaylee Long, 3. Madison Folks, 2. Shifts it to Kubik, 3:43 to play. Off the screen from Costin. Looks for the roll. Gets it back to Folks, though. Now to Bennett, who faces up. Gives it up for a jumper that's denied. Smith, a swat. Now they run in transition. Pass inside. That's too easy. Playing fast is Indiana Tech. Warren Barton that time. Kubik for 3. Got it! (18-14). Tech still looking for their first of those in this game. Still 0 from the 3-point line. Worm has it. Jaylee Long on her, and the whistle sounds. Just reached in a little too far. Maybe got a piece of the hand. Stays on this end of the floor. It's one of the most entertaining parts about broadcasting for this women's basketball team, though, is watching Olivia Kubik just... It's almost like a malfunction. She just, it's like when you accidentally press the wrong button on your video game and you shoot from half court, but it ends up going in. Worm, oh, nice find. Looked like the Joker that time. Found Barton inside. 18-16 cuts the lead down to 2. Did you see that, by the way? Joker's behind, no look pass, literally no look over his head. It's crazy. Best basketball player in the world, and he acts like he's just going to work. I don't even know if he likes basketball. Kubik a drive, and she's fouled. They're going to say it was on the floor. Covington, little forearm push, if you will. 2:11 to go until halftime. It stays on this end of the floor. But we talked about it coming into this game, Jackson. Ball movement it's what makes Indiana Tech great, and right now we're keeping up with them defensively speaking. Shutting off a lot of those avenues. Kubik, baseline, gives it up to Bennett, who has it poked away and then tries to save it. Well, I didn't think she touched it before it was going to go out of bounds. Maybe she did. Tries to save it, goes out, 18-16. Indiana Tech, chance to tie or take the lead.
Cornerstone has played pretty close to perfect defense thus far, but offensively, you can't let that go.
Covington fires away for 3. Rebound underneath, and she's fouled. Lauren Barton heading to the stripe. Anna Rebner seeing her first playing time today. Commits the foul. That puts Barton at the stripe. Senior out of DeWitt, Michigan. Rolls around, rolls out.
0 for 13 now from behind the arc for Indiana Tech. You got to think that's going to be something they talk about in the locker room.
Goes back to Cornerstone, out of bounds off of Worm. CU up by 2, and yeah, I mean, shooting 21%, 0 for 12 from three-point land. That's a product of great defense and just not having any good lanes. And a Rebner and an off-ball foul. Moving screen by Jaylee Long. Shuffled her feet just a little bit too long. That gets it back to Tech here up 18-16. And don't get me wrong, Cornerstone hasn't had a dynamite game offensively speaking either. That's why we're only up by 2, but just trying to talk about the positives here going into half. 3-point launch that rolls around and rolls out. Chloe McLean can't splash it. Jaylee Long with the basketball with just over 90 seconds to go until we take a break for halftime. Folks with it near side. Gives it up to Kubik. Head fake. Now steps back. Front of the rim. Well, she had Covington on skates there for a second. Worm. To her. Now gets it back. Now a dish inside. And Madison Folks, a denial. Right at the bucket.
Folks was like, how did I get away with that one?
Anna Rebner face-to-face with Bethany Worm. Can't put it through. I tend to agree, Jackson. We'll take it, though. Smith, Covington for 3. Finally! All right, with 28 seconds left to go, Tech gets their first 3 of the game. It's now 19-18.
It's their first lead of the game as well.
It was a good run while it lasted. 13 seconds, now 12. Hand off to Kubik, now to Folks, who fakes, steps into a shot, and bakes it in. Well, doesn't bake it in, it was nothing but net. 1 second, Covington at 3, no good. 20-19. If we had a football team, I'm sure the score would also look like this at halftime. 1 point lead for CU. We'll step aside, be back for halftime, and take a look at our scoring recap. Cornerstone leads by 1 on the Cornerstone Sports Network. Welcome back in. Well, 1 half down. Cornerstone is in front. Now to just do it in half number 2, 20-19. And here to take you for the third quarter is my broadcast partner, Jackson Hyde.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, very intriguing first half. I mean, Cornerstone or Indiana Tech on upset alert right now. We love a good upset story in college basketball. And Cornerstone looking to continue that. Maybe get their offense going along with their stellar defense. I mean, the defense has already been good.
Dynamite.
You know what I meant.
And the perimeter defense has been the best part of it.
Here's Kubik trying to get things going. Hands it out to Steen. Back to Kubik. Kubik, 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. He's going to have to pull it up here from the free throw line and off the front of the rim.
How many times have we seen that tonight, though? Indiana Tech forcing Cornerstone all the way down to the final seconds of that shot clock.
Here's the Warriors. Covington doing a lot of back and forth passing. Getting trapped up under the paint, though. And Smith will score the first bucket of the half for Tech. It gives them a 21-20 lead.
That's probably the best offensive possession of the night so far for Indiana Tech. And I don't say that jokingly. I mean it. They found a lane inside and they scored. That's how they go to work. They just couldn't do it in the first period. The first half, that is.
Kubik. Probing, looking for somebody. Here's Long. We'll go down low to Ainsworth. She puts it up with her right hand. Can't get it to go. Stain tried to swat it to get to the offensive rebound, but there was a foul on that, so Indiana Tech will throw it in. It'll be Bethany Worm who does the honors of that. So trying to build up some momentum offensively. Here are the Warriors. Decker. They got a wide open Covington for three, and it rattles in and out. Rebounded by Kubik.
And I like, despite the fact that they've missed so many of those tonight, I still like that idea of taking that shot. If it's that open, you got to take it.
Folks does a nice little dribble in, pumps it, can't get it to go, and she's going to pick up a quick foul at the same time. So, good handful, or a few Cornerstone players with 2 fouls here. Not in foul trouble just yet, but about 18 minutes of basketball left to be played here in this one. And Cornerstone got to keep that under wraps, especially if they want to pull off a huge upset. Go down to the other side, back to the other side. This one pulls up just from the post. Can't get that to go. And rebounded after it pinballs its way back out. Bethany Worm finding her way, navigating her way through the paint. Gets it to go. Kind of just blows by Ainsworth there.
Yeah, well, and Tech's just trying to spread the floor right now. So essentially is what they're trying to do, and that opens up lanes inside.
And a great contested shot going to the hoop on that one with a nice floater. That was Madison Folks. You know how special this would be for her on senior day. Might have gotten away with a travel there. Great passing for the Warriors. There's a little Euro step and gets that one to go for Decker.
That's a fancy bucket that time by Decker. You saw the head and the pump fake, then goes underneath and rolls one up and in. And just fancy scoring inside. They're starting to find more lanes on the inside. It's looking a little bit different now than what it did in the first half for ITU.
Folks picks up another foul.
I think that was Ainsworth on the moving screen. And here's where that's problematic. That's her third now. So we still got 6:54 to go here in the third quarter, and we got Stephanie Ainsworth on the verge of maybe taking a seat. So we'll see how that plays out.
Ainsworth, huge product for how good this defense has been at the start of this game. This defense kind of quiet to begin this half. As that bucket goes up and in, that time Erica Foy gets it done. I mean, Indiana Tech with 6 points already here in this quarter. We're not even halfway through the third. They tied the most that this is already some of the most points they've scored in the game in a quarter. Kubik thinking about it. Got some time. She goes to the hoop with it. Gets that one blocked. Put back shot is good. That's actually not.
It looked like it was good momentarily. Should have been good.
That long three, that time it's good. And Indiana Tech rolling out of the half on a bit of a run. 11-2 run to start the half. 30-22 lead with 5:57 to go. We're going to take a timeout. You watch the Cornerstone Sports Network. .557 to go here on the Cornerstone Sports Network in the third quarter. Indiana Tech on 11-2 run since the start of this half. This is starting to look like that number 23 team that we were talking about before the game.
Yeah, and I mean, they're still playing. It just seems like they're playing quicker, and they're getting out in transition a lot better too, which is forcing the issue on defense for Cornerstone. And again, it's worked out to their advantage.
Switching up some offensive players for Cornerstone. Gortmaker's back in there. Gets a handoff from Ainsworth. And Gortmaker hits the deck, grabbing her forehead just a little bit. Here's a three from Smith, and that goes out. Rebounded by Covington. She puts it up. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Ainsworth. Yeah, you said a lot quicker in this Cornerstone defense right now. I don't know if sluggish is the right word, but they're not looking like what they did in the first half.
It just looks like ITU made some adjustments, and in whatever they did offensively speaking, it's just leading to more opportunities in front of the bucket.
Gortmaker puts it up, fouled on the shot. She's going to get a couple. Cornerstone without a bucket in the last 2.5 minutes. Gortmaker looking to maybe put some life into this offense. It's much needed. As that first one rattles in and out, and it's, you know, this Cornerstone team, it's either hot or cold with free throws. I mean, 75% as a team. That time rattles out. She goes 0 for 2. These are free throws that you're going to need to make the free throws to upset a team like this. So Covington thought about it, gives it to Decker. She dribbles in. And they're trying to push inside as nice pull-up shot from Foy will get it going. So a lot of those shots Indiana Tech wasn't making in the first half are now starting to fall. And Cornerstone hasn't been able to find an answer for it yet. Here's Bennett. Turns around, puts it up with her left hand, misses. And Indiana Tech looking to continue this run. Now a little fast break opportunity. Here's Gortmaker. She puts it up. That's good, and one. Gortmaker has been taking a beating over the last couple of minutes since she's came off the bench. She's kind of You can see her in a little bit of a pain there.
I love her commitment, too. And that's the tough thing about, you talk about freshmen. You want them to be committed when they shoot the basketball. You want them to be all in. When you're driving, when you're shooting from three, whatever. If you commit to a shot, commit to it. You saw her kind of look around on her way to the basket, realize that she was all alone. She's like, I'm going to take this myself, and did it with authority. And that's why she's getting one more at the stripe. I love the take.
Yeah. 4:08 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside for just a second. 32-24 Indiana Tech, Cornerstone Sports Network. Welcome back on the Cornerstone Sports Network. 4:08, 32-24. Warriors lead this. Gortmaker's going to try to complete her and one. Try to snap this 9-2 run that Indiana Tech is in the midst of. And that one goes. So after missing two earlier, she gets that one to go, and it's a big one. Juliana Burris back in there now. And this Indiana Tech team moving the ball very quickly. That one almost intercepted by Steen, and ball's going to go towards Cornerstone.
Good anticipation that time by Steen, jumping that route. And those are the things that Cornerstone needs to do in order to win this game. And I bet Jess Yonkers would probably tell you the same thing. They just have to force mistakes by ITU because they don't make a ton. And when it comes to ball movement, if they start turning the ball over like that, if you can jump in front and intercept a few, it's going to put them out of the headspace that they need to be in order to dominate and go on those big, long runs and ultimately win this one.
So Kubik, who feels like she hasn't been out of this game at all today, still in there. A little bit of a mishap from Ainsworth, not something we see a whole lot from her. Gortmaker applying some good pressure. Burrs finds a wide open Smith. We'll get that to go.
And they're starting to cut backdoor too. They're starting to cut into the lane, and they're looking for those extra avenues, and that is just a great find inside.
Where Cornerstone was plugging a lot of those holes, they are not now. Here's Gortmaker for three. Bouncing, and that doesn't go. That took a big hop off the rim. Here's a wide open three for Corin Smith off the front of the rim.
Yeah, fortunate that one didn't go in, but this is what ITU does well as well. They play fast. That time that was a fast look.
Here's Ainsworth being physical. Passes it out to Steen, who gets it done from the free throw line.
Yeah, it looks like that time an infraction on the inbound, so I believe one of the players stepped on the court as they were passing it in, and that will have the play whistled dead and turn the ball over. So a little mental mishap that time by ITU.
So Jaylee Long back in there, finds a cutting Madison Folks, but was met by some Warriors. She'll take it to the rim and get fouled, and she's got a couple free throws coming her way.
Someone stepped on the back of her shoe. That's annoying. I hate when that happens, but able to keep her footing and a strong drive to the tin. Kind of a little bit of a different situation. Talked earlier today about how it is senior day, so we're celebrating Madison Folks, one of our seniors. A little bit of a unique situation, but parents in town today. And how big would that be if they're able to pull this one out?
That'd be big. Second one goes. So they cut the lead down to 34-28. 2:22 to go. Cornerstone trying to find their way back into this one. Goes across court passing. We've seen that quite a bit from this Warriors team. Finds another cutting inside Decker. She bounces out of it. And that one goes. How about this passing, Nate? I mean, it is quick.
Well, and the thing is, too, is like they're able to take so much time off the clock that almost an 8-point lead kind of scares you a little bit because they're so good at moving the ball. They don't have to take the first or second option. They just wait for the best one.
Folks pumps, drives to the hoop, gets fouled, and she's going to get 2. So again, you got to make your free throws in this type of game. Not a whole lot of free throws been taken so far tonight. And before that first one goes, before Gortmaker's free throws earlier, they hadn't taken any. Second one's up. That one's good. So cuts the lead down to 6. We're going to sub. Megan Bennett's going to come in for Stephanie Ainsworth. Ainsworth, of course, with 3 fouls, so they got to use her carefully. Only down by 6. Indiana Tech continuing this game of pass that is just so quick. Bennett gets the block, but going to be called for the foul. A lot of parents in the crowd right now calling the ref's bluff. It was a close call. So Erica Foy is going to get a couple. That first one rattles in and out. That's a big one for Cornerstone.
You wonder why they're upset. I get it. You know, obviously it looked like on the ball hand, it looked like it was clean, but it's always the other hand that is the troublemaker sometimes.
So Foy misses 2. Very uncharacteristic of her. 88% on the year for free throws. So that's big for Cornerstone. Especially if you're Indiana Tech, that's who you want at the line. So Folks trying to build some more momentum. About a minute left. And Bennett is going to get called on the travel.
Yeah, sometimes it's when you're back to the basket and you're trying to work someone over physically, you know, sometimes if you lean a little bit as a defender, that's an effective method. Just kind of force them to fall back, therefore get the walk.
So Tech looking down inside. Here's Foy again. She puts it up. Tough shot, and Jaylee Long fighting for the ball, and they're going to call jump.
Jesse Biggs ran across the bench to try and call a timeout. Blazing fast. She almost slipped on the floor herself trying to get that timeout off, but good job for CU. They get the jump ball arrow back now.
And a wide open Smith for 3, but off the front of the rim. So the shooting from 3, 2 for 19 Indiana Tech is. Cornerstone's getting very lucky in that aspect of the game. I know we've talked about how they've struggled all year, but with how open they have left them, sometimes you think those would eventually start to fall for them. So 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Folks got to get something going. She puts it up, and good! 36-32, 3 seconds to go. They got to put up a shot here. And this one's up, and wide right. So Cornerstone riding some momentum into the 4th quarter, which is much needed. 36-32, Indiana Tech leads. We'll step aside, and Nate will bring us home. Cornerstone Sports Network. Welcome back live on the Cornerstone Sports Network. We got a fresh 10 on the clock. We got a fresh voice to my right. Here's Nate Wangler.
I don't know about fresh. I mean, I feel like they know me by now, but yeah, let's do this fourth quarter. 10 minutes to go. Cornerstone University within 4 of the number 23 team in the country in Indiana Tech. A team they haven't beaten in now what has been since 2018, 6 years ago. It's been 12 straight by ITU. Jaylee Long has this one poked away, now ripped away. Lowry, a good play defensively. Smith to Lowry, here to Covington. Cornerstone back into that zone. Foy trapped down low. Good job doubling her. 10 seconds to shoot. Covington to Smith, who fires. Can't fill it. Olivia Kubik gets the rebound as it glances off the side of the rim. And Jackson, as you talked about, not the best shooting performance on either side, but you just need to get hot just for a few minutes. It's all you need if you're CU. Kubik can't float it in. Erica Foy boxing out Stephanie Ainsworth, hands it off to Covington. Way up ahead, Worm gets the bucket and gets one more to go. Love the effort by Stephanie Ainsworth, but you can't follow through the body like that.
That's her fourth.
Yeah, Worm gets one more at the stripe, and with 8:39 left to go, I understand not wanting to give up easy buckets, but kind of ill-advised there. And now you see Bennett checking into the game just below us, so we're kind of in a situation here where we're going to have to rely on the Hope transfer, kind of carry us home here in this fourth quarter. Cornerstone down 6, 2-possession game with 8:28 to play. Steen, a jumper, that goes in. And they are really laying off of her defensively. It's a growing frustration with these fans why she's not shooting. Worm floats it off the backboard and in. Silky play that time by Bethany Worm. Back-to-back possessions now she's scored. Back to a 6-point lead, 40-34. Kubik with 10 seconds to shoot. To Steen. Fires the three, front of the rim. Ainsworth a rebound, and she puts it through. And maybe that's why she should take the three, because you know you got Stephanie Ainsworth to rebound it down low anyway. Second chance leads to that lead being cut down to 4. 7:40 left to go. We'll step aside. Cornerstone Sports Network. (40-36), 7:40 left to play in this ball game. And from somebody who not only went to school here, but has been broadcasting games at this school for a long time, couldn't be more proud of how far this group has come. going toe-to-toe with a top 25 team in the country. Worm. Covington. Foy inside, has to reverse. Now Covington open, swings it. Near side, Lowry a three, and it's good. And they haven't been very efficient from three. When they've needed a big one, they've gotten it. Steen gives it up for Fulks. Fires a deep one, no good. Side of the rim, bounced up around into the hands of Long, who nearly throws it out. Fulks. Kubik wants it in the corner. Fulks takes it herself, but she can't get it to drop in. Kubik was jumping up and down in the corner. Fulks couldn't see her though. Foy. Worm. Long pass. Lowry knocks it in. But you can't lay off of her like that for whatever reason. Mackenzie Steen giving her a little bit of wiggle room. That's consecutive threes now for her. And this lead now ballooning to 10 with 6:06 to play. Kubik to Steen, just inside the three-point line. Can't bounce home. And Megan Bennett, I believe, is whistled for the foul. Or they're going to say Mackenzie Steen. Yes, Mackenzie Steen. Thought it was an over the back at first. But Steen got a piece of the arm. Abby Banstra checks in. Addison Fulks will check out. 10-point lead for ITU, 5:57 to play.
Cornerstone, if they can somehow figure out a way to come back and win this one, it would be their first win over a ranked opponent since number 9 Indiana Tech back in 2018.
I remember that. That was for the WAC championship, WAC tournament championship. Lowry again. Wow. 49-36 in a flash. CU needs a little run of their own when we come back. 5:40 to go, Cornerstone Sports Network. Well, Cornerstone's been held scoreless in the last 2:08. On the other end for Indiana Tech, going on a little run here, now up by 13. Banstra, newly entered into the game, gives it up here for Steen. Couple of things. They got to stop the bleeding, and they got to give a few of their own buckets. Jaylee Long can't punch that one home. Outlet to Covington, who gives it up now for Worm. 5:15 to play in the fourth quarter. Worm being swarmed under, so gives it back to Covington. Now they swing it. Good passing. Smith lines up a three, but can't put it in. Little no-look to the corner. Here's Steen. Gives it up for Kubik. Now to Banstra inside of 5 minutes, 4:49 to play. Jaylee, Ainsworth on Foy, bumps her in the chest, gets a little room but can't put it through, and Hey, Erica Foy's having all sorts of trouble down low with Stephanie Ainsworth. Olivia Kubik can't put it through, launches away the deep three, and this is where that sweltering defense by ITU is really going to play a role. Worm kicks it to Smith. Back to Worm, launches for three, no good. Just glances off the front of the rim.
Jessica Yonkers screaming for a flop there.
I think that's a fair assessment of what just happened.
Shoot! Nate, smile.
Nine seconds. Steen on Worm. Has it denied. Not the legal way, though. Bethany Worm with the foul. 2 shots coming up at the line here from Mackenzie Steen. And I just think the frustrating thing is, Jackson, is that, moral victories, they don't really count when you start winning games. Once upon a time, this would have been a moral victory to just stick in with this team for the whole game, but they really had a chance today. They just couldn't do anything on offense.
I'm going to say part of this is going to be on Jessica Yonkers a little bit, too. A couple timeouts ago, they had a bucket, and it felt like momentum was on Cornerstone's side. It felt like, they pulled within 6. And then she called a timeout right after that. And then they went on a little run, about a 10-point run, and now they got the lead that they did. I felt like that was a little bit of an ill-advised timeout. I understand that sometimes you need to sub players, but when you're riding a high, you have to ride it as long as you can, especially with a team like this.
Covington to Smith, now 3:30 to play. Smith, past Kubik, pulls up, can't put it in. Jaylee Long, a rip and run in transition. They could use a 3. That would pull them within single digits. Steen is fouled on their way to the bucket. They're going to wave off the shot attempt. Decker not able to shuffle her feet in front nearly quickly enough. And now a timeout taken here by Jessie Biggs. 3:12 left to play. We'll see if ITU just decides to sit on it for a little bit, take some of that time off the clock. We'll be right back. Cornerstone Sports Network. Jaylee Long inbounds the ball with 3:12 left to play. Steen hands it to Kubik and drives right side. Covington on her. Now to Ainsworth. Now to Steen. Worm kind of laying off of her. Erica Foy hits the ground, and a 3-second violation. Well, you don't see that very often. Stephanie Ainsworth was parked in the lane. Finally whistled for 3 seconds, and it's just one of those rules in basketball that it's almost kind of like holding in football. I feel like you can call it pretty much on every time down the floor, but I'm starting to believe that Jessie Biggs might have told the refs, hey, look out for that, because Ainsworth likes parking herself in the paint, and you understand why. Inside of 3 minutes, now 2:47. Covington with the basketball, shifts it to Foy, had an opening, takes it herself though, now gives it back. And here they are, just kind of sitting on it, Jackson. No quick shots, they don't need one. Worm in the corner, knocks in the 3.
And if they're going to do that, Cornerstone has to be more locked down on defense. They can't allow shots like that, because now it's looking very, very slim that they're going to be able to come back into this one.
Could have used a few of those misses we saw earlier right now. They have to start getting some shots of their own up. This is the best defense we've seen in this gym all year. Long, after the pump fake, has that one bounce around and bounce out, and then Gracie Gortmaker commits the foul. Indiana Tech not in the foul yet, so we'll inbound it from out of bounds, but looks like it's going to come down to fouling and hoping that people miss a few shots.
This is a lot of time left, too, to start fouling. I mean, that's the name of the game, but...
Bethany Worm with 11 points. Madison Folks on senior day. How fitting. Leading the way with 11. And now we got some extracurriculars going on.
Yeah.
Gracie Gortmaker with a steal. Bethany Worm comes up and shoves her to the ground. They're going to break the two sides up, and
that's a flagrant right there. I mean, I know they don't call that, but you cannot do that.
I understand the intensity, wanting to stick up for your teammate. Referees are going to get together and talk about this momentarily. And, man, what is it with us and shenanigans these past couple of games? It's
got to be the change in weather, man, because it's been all week.
You got Ainsworth getting ripped to the ground during that game against Madonna. We got people pushing each other over here at the end of this one.
You gotta be better than that, especially if you're as good as what you are. And Jesse Big not happy about that.
And Worm's a redshirt senior too, so as someone who's been around for a while, you got to understand. And I mean, I get it, but it seemed to me at least that all Gortmaker was doing was just trying to play the basketball. I didn't think there was anything uniquely dirty about that. But
there was no ill intent behind that at all. The ball just happened to go underneath her feet, and she bit the deck, Had a better awareness than that.
I guess I'm just confused as to what exactly is requiring this conversation to go on for as long as it has.
I'm sure she's pleading her case, but as any official, it's just going through one ear and out the other.
Have her sit down, play out the last minute 57, and we'll call it a day. Jesse Biggs, though, persistent over towards the scorer's table. Olivia Kubik stepped up to the free throw line momentarily. Now we're starting to get play ball shouts from the stands here. I agree.
I'm curious to see what this is going to be. Interesting.
So 2 here for CU. Kubik makes the first. Crazier things have happened, Jackson.
So to make it a flagrant, is that only like Division I, Division II type basketball?
No,
reviews.
There are flagrant fouls at this level, but flagrants are exactly that. I mean, they're bad. Draymond Green level bad. And as much as that was probably a cheap shot by Bethany Worm, it was far from a flagrant. I think Gracie might have sold it a little bit too.
Well, you got to sometimes.
Folks back to Kubik. Minute 45 now. Steen with the basketball at the free throw line, looking around, finds Gortmaker. Gracie takes it, baseline, and nearly falls over. Trips over her own feet, then a fight for it down low, and Lowry hits the floor. It goes back into the hands of Indiana Tech with a minute 34 to go.
And Gracie, she's starter for the women's soccer team too, so she's used to being beat up, but today she is. You keep seeing her grab that, I believe it's her right side of the hip too. She's been taking a beating all day long.
She did hit the floor pretty hard earlier today. Hasn't let that really affect her all that much. As it stands right now, though, Jackson, between 2 games against this Indiana Tech team, Cornerstone's been held to just over 80. Foy fouled on her way to the bucket. She'll get 2 at the stripe with a minute 11 to play. But really an all-time kind of defense for this Indiana Tech squad.
It's number 5 for Stephanie Ainsworth as well.
So Stephanie Ainsworth will sit down with a minute 11 and a 13-point lead. kind of a formality at this point.
You know, you talk about no moral victory, especially at this point, you know, especially in the rebuild. But you got to think, too, with the Indiana Tech, only one person with double-digit points. Well, unless she makes one here, then it's two, but...
Oh, yeah, I mean, they win as a unit. They're deep. They're fast. You know, I mean, it's... Yeah, there's a lot of different teams that we've played that have had really great individual players, but none of them can quite put it together as well as ITU can. That one falls 53-39, but to give you a perspective of just how good this defense has been this year for ITU, held Concordia to 34, Rochester to 44, Indiana Wesleyan, the number 2 team in the country, just 64 points for them in that game. Mind you, ITU only scored 38. But it's one of the best defenses in the country. Folks way downtown, can't bounce in. Jaylee rips in the rebound. Folks charging towards the bucket. Gets fouled on her way there, and I believe that's a shooting foul, as now Folks slow back to her feet. Now just headlong into a pile of bodies. Gets the whistle, gets a chance at the free throw stripe. So we'll get a hockey line change here for CU. First one's up and good, 53-40. Coming up for Cornerstone after the conclusion of this one, another road trip. Both of those are good, 53-41. And Gracie Gortmaker gets kind of tossed out of bounds. They're not going to call that on Erica Foy, though. It is out of bounds off Cornerstone, and ITU gets it back.
A lot of parents showcasing their wingspan in the crowd right now.
We got some very passionate parents, as they always are. Foy in no rush to throw anything up. Mackenzie Steen commits the foul. You could hear Jess Yonkers kind of yelling across the court, saying, we don't have any choices anymore. We got to foul. And here comes that hockey line change you were talking about. Everybody checks out. Austin Long, Jaylee back in. But January 31st, Cornerstone takes on Dearborn on the road. And it's back home against Concordia. 4 more games total here inside of Moll Arena before it's all said and done. Foy putting the finishing touches on this one, 48.7 to play. For Tech, we'll be back home against Siena Heights. That's another team that's receiving votes at the moment. And they take on Aquinas College. Then it's back on the road for them in early February. 7th at Lawrence Tech, February 10th on the road at Rochester. Kubik tries to rip one up past Covington. Covington fouls her with the body on the way there. So she'll get a few free throws here. And a game that was cooking along at one point is now grounded to a halt.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things, not only did Indiana Tech, keep Cornerstone very quiet, they kept 2 people in particular very quiet. They shut down Ainsworth and they shut down Kubik. Kubik, 1 for 10 today, shooting-wise, and she's played 35 minutes of today's game, which is a lot. Like I can't even remember when she wasn't on the court.
Leads the team in overall minutes. Jesse Biggs calls a timeout. Up 12 with 41.3 seconds to go. Because why not? We'll take one too. Cornerstone Sports Network. Welcome back in. Inbound to Covington, overhead to Smith, passed her into the hands of Steen. Kubik, pump fake, now fires for three. Got it! 29 seconds, still down by 9. Whistle sounds. Timeout by Cornerstone. So they cut it down to 9. Under 30 seconds to play. They got to foul and they got to pray is what they have to do. 28.7, another timeout. We'll be right back. Cornerstone Sports Network. Long pass into the backcourt, 26 seconds left. CU's got no choice but to just foul. Abby Banstra commits the foul. She'll check out. Kind of an interesting strategy here being deployed by Jess Yonkers. It feels like every other time the game is stopped, she throws 4 new bodies in there. It quite literally is like hockey. They need some misses here, though. That one rolls in by Smith, makes it a 10-point lead. But a lot to take away from this game, and, you know, at the end of the day, you know you can hang with them now. That bounces around and bounces out. Folks. Spin on Worm and gets it to bounce around and bounce in. Leading scorer this game for Cornerstone on the day that her parents are in attendance. Cornerstone commits the foul in transition. Believe that was on Emma Costin, so there will be free throws shot here. Erica Foy will attempt to pair with 10.3 seconds left to go. But a good game by Madison, folks. 15 points in this one today.
A gritty 15 points.
And that's pretty much how she gets them. She is a member of the old guard here for this team, and a team that built their identity on being scrappy and just fighting for those loose extra balls and that extra effort. It got them close here today. It didn't get them enough, though. Olivia Kubik off the mark on that 3. Nothing but net, literally. With 4.2 seconds left to go, Zach will inbound it. And then we'll get ourselves ready for the men's game coming up here in a little bit. Foy holds the ball. Last few seconds drain away. And Indiana Tech continues their spotless streak in the conference this year. They improved to 14-0 in the WAC, 17-3 overall. Cornerstone on the other end, they fall to 10-9, 8-6 in conference play. As we talked about, January 31st, their next game on the road at Dearborn, and then they're back inside this gym the following week, taking on Concordia. Jackson, any final thoughts on this one tonight?
No, a good, gritty game for Cornerstone. Indiana Tech did what they needed to do. Not the best game for them, but a win is a win, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
58-48 final score. Indiana Tech wins it. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit when our men's team takes on ITU. Should be a fun one. We'll be right back. Cornerstone Sports Network.